Okay, good morning to all of you. So we are starting our next credit. It is the bryophyte ecology. So here you are observing the different habitats of the these bryophytic conditions are there, and physiology means related with that of the vegetative growth and the reproductive growth of the bryophytes are there. So just we will see the some highlighting points in relation to these characters or this ecophysiology. Here in the photographs, as the habitats are generally seen, as we are knowing in the rainy season, particularly with reference to our Indian continent is there or region. So we have in the different condition habitats are there, or the distribution of bryophytes is there. In bryophyta already we are knowing, as it is a embryophyte, or it develop the embryo, particularly in the liverworts, mosses and hornworts are there. So as they shows, there is having the thallus range or the habit, it is from 2 to 6 centimeter, and therefore different these conditions, either it is more or less, but they have a certain limitation of the growth, but it shows the development in the sense of this, particularly reproductive structures are there. In reproductive structures there is also too much variation. The reproductive organs as generally develops in the specific condition, or very short duration of life cycle is there, as hardly 2 to 3 months life cycle, and it will be kept generally as per the humidity in the nature. Humidity means it is not all over world, it is the same, but it is changing as per the this region to region, and there are the different ecosystems are there. Already we have discussed the microclimatic conditions are there. So you are observing here some these mosses, or some maybe the liverworts are there. They are found on the bark or tree trunks, or the branches are there. So how the physiological changes takes place, physiology that is related with that of the photosynthesis, then there is the reproduction is there, and there is the formation again, the spore germination is there, or completion of the life cycle is there. So it is very interesting part is there. So you see these are called as trumps, trumps, that is the buttresses region, the basal part of the large trees are there, you are observing here. So they also shows the specific type of the bryophytic developments are there. As we are already knowing, in bryophyta the true roots are absent, but the rhizoids are present, and true vascular tissue is also absent, but the cortex and the other tissues, they functions very nicely, or very generally having in the developed like conditions are there. The occurrence generally seen at the different regions, as on the damp or the shady places. On secondly, they shows the life cycle pattern. It is heterologous and the haplodiplobiontic. Actually, this word is from the algae, but already we are knowing in evolution, from the algae bryophyta are to be supposed as the develop. So haplo means the haploid stage is there, and heterologous, that is the logos means the haploid containing Antheridia archegonia, and the diploid, that is the zygote formation is there, embryo formation in the bryophyta is there. So very interesting part is there. This gametophytic stage, that is which is the, how we say the gametophyte, because the development of Antheridia and archegonia, it is the gametophytic. And secondly, there is having the specifically these sexual organs, they are of having different shape, size and the structure is there. So it is called as oogamous type, right? So you have to consider this. The after fertilization, it shows the development of this food seta and the capsule is there. So just I am repeating what is the change is there. So just we have to go one by one characters are there. Again you are observing here good photograph of the some forms in the this one. So see the dehisced capsule showing four valves are there in the some genera or mosses are there, or in some thalloid members are there. We are knowing about the Markensia. It shows the disc shaped structure is there. So just go through it. Okay, how are the physiological changes are there. There are the certain development of organs are there. You see you are observing the capsule or the gametophytic stage after antheridia archegonia develop in the thalloid or the mosses members are there. Funaria polytrichum are there. On the right hand side you are observing the structure of the this antheridium. Then generally it is seen in the leafy jungle manners. This is a structure of antheridium. It shows the sperms are there, very minute sperms. So these are the actual photographs of this. Then you are observing here the archegonia is there. So archegonia is the neck canal cells, egg cell and the ventral cell. So these are generally having the exogenous, that is developing from the external cell of the this antheridial initial or the archegonial initial cell. Very interesting part. In relation to habitats, we are knowing terrestrial habitat is generally there. Some few, very few are there the aquatic ones. For example, sphagnum. It is to be reported as a aquatic, not that is totally in the water, but the maximum water is present. Suppose any pond is there, freshwater pond without any pollution, so the sphagnum moss generally occurs there. We are also observing, we have seen also the bryles in this one, or sphagnums having the separate position. The specifically these terrestrial forms, they having the amphibious type of the habitat is there. Amphibious, that is partly in water, partly on the soil region are there. So it is the amphibious. In relation to reproduction, already we are knowing by vegetative method and by the sexual method. So we are knowing the tubers, then gyma cups developing gymi, or there is the formation of these gymi. They show the specifically in different forms are there. Suppose the in Markensia or Lunularia, these are different. They are having the rhizoidal cell and developing the new thallus formation is there. In the some cases they are in the groups at the top of this one. Then in vegetative reproduction, we are knowing the extra adventitious buds are there, or in the gametophore, or there are the adventitious branches are there. So physiologically, as there is a support of the food material and the certain environmental conditions are there, so this type of the condition we are observing. Then we give the highlight to the life cycle pattern. So heterologous or the heterogamous generally. So gametophytes generally develop the antheridium archegonium, male and female. Antheridium develop antherozoids, archegonium develop egg fertilization, zygote which is diploid. After germination it gives the sporophyte 2n, or there is a formation of the capsule formation. In capsule spore mother cells are diploid, meiotic division takes place, and the haploid spores which germinate and develop the protonema. Protonema is the stage where the first juvenile stage, it is called as a juvenile, that is the first one stage without any gametangia or the reproductive structures. So therefore it is called as the protonema, and later on it developed to this one. Then so in diagrammatic representation already we are knowing. Already in primary classification, while we are focusing, so Brown is the one authority in 1864. So firstly included under the algae, fungi, lichens and the mosses. but later on already in last semester we have seen detailed classification, but just I am repeating how the variation. So you have to think over about the as per the classification. So divided into hepatic E, then Anthocerati and Masai. So these are the primary classifications, and in this hepatic E, Marcantiales, then leafy jungle manuals are there. Anthocerati are the separate. Masai mainly Spagnels and Reals, and the Briles are there. Different authors like the Brown, so they have to be liverworts and mosses. Then on one hand, algae and fungi and the lichens are there. Recently we are knowing this classification is generally we are following Hepatic, Anthocerati and the Masai. So go through the certain these diagrams are there. Mercantia, Rixia, then Anthoceros, then there are these are the photographs. This right hand photograph is of Anthoceros. Then there are the Masai or the Mercantia is there. Some orders just I am highlighting here. So because each and every thallus or the character, they have in the specific habitats as per their, they are developing the physiological changes. So hepatic already we have seen Tachyceals, Calobrials, jungle manuals, Medgerials, Marcantiales and Spirocarpales. So these in seventh one monoclades. I am just highlighting. You have to remember these 7 groups in your writing. So names are having the weightage. Anthoceratopsida or hornworts, Anthocerotales family 1, Anthocerataceae, and genus mainly Anthoceros and Notothylus are now main, and others are Megaceros, Dentoceros, Pioceros, Folioceros, like this one. In Bryopsida, the divided into Spagnidae, Sphagnum, Andreals, Andrea, Buxbaumiales, Braidae, and in Braidae is the largest moss class. So generally it shows the many orders are there. Physidiales, Dicranials, because they having the specific changes are there. Very interesting changes here at the capsule sporophyte level. As per the ICBN, nowadays we are following this classification according to Takhtajar, Schuster 1953, Takhtajar 1953, Parihar, our Indian scientist N.S. Parihar 1965, and the Udar in 1976. So just to go through it, it is generally same for hepatic, then Anthocerotales and the Bryopsida. Right, so just we are highlighting. Then secondly, in this relation, the different genera or as per the different orders are there. So hepatic shows 330 genera, 8,000 species, and Ceratopsida 7 genera and 1 single order. Bryopsida 700 genera, 14,000 species are there. So as per changes, there are the changes in gametophyte and the sporophyte. Right. Secondly, we are knowing. So thallus structure, these are also different. Dorsal view and the ventral view is there. So presence of rhizoids. Then in leafy jungle manus, presence of third leaf, Ampigastria, or the under leaf is there. Leafy jungle manus. Then there are the some Marcantiales like well advanced thallus. So this shows the Archegonium 4 and Anthridio 4. In this Rixiocarpus genus, it having the specific character, and in Anthoceros, generally Anthocerati, the dehiscence of capsule is there. It is into the 2 holes due to the presence of collimella. So LS of capsule we are knowing. These 3 groups having very beautiful structures are there. You are observing there are the Astrella or the this left hand side liverwort hepatophyta, Astrella plagiocaspa are there. Secondly, this red color is the sphagnum moss. Then Marcantia polymorpha, it shows the Archegonium 4. Then Anthoceros, then Polytrichum is there. Then secondly there is a Funaria, just see how is the nature. Then capsule shows the covered by the calyptra. Then each sporogonium, it shows the food, seta, and the capsule is there. As per the ecological importance of bryophytes, here just you see some sites or the locations are there where abundant these occurrence of the bryophytes are there. So as regions are there, different habitats, generally the gametophytic stage is to be supposed as a dominant, and there is having the more prominent long-lived, and it is a haploid stage. Secondly, traditionally we are knowing these all land plants, they have not true vascular tissue, but therefore they can survive for a longer time. Secondly, you are observing these some adaptive natures are there, and the mosses capsules, they hold the dew drops or the due to humidity, and this sporogonium, generally it having the character. After the sunlight or the light intensity increases, the dehiscence of the capsule takes place. Here we are knowing in Polytrichum and these some genera. So there are the peristomal teeths are there. So there is having the shotgun mechanism. So dehiscence of operculum, cap of the capsule, it is dehiscing, and therefore spores exit into the environment, and they show the germination. In the specific specialized structures are there, so as they are the absent, but here we are knowing the specifically by the osmosis and the diffusion, the surface moisture, it is generally kept the alive, and after the specific light intensity, temperature increases, and the natural this capsule dehiscence takes place. So humidity is the main. Here I have selected this slide. As you are observing here, there are the a piece of the certain gametophyte is there, and it shows the grow into a new gametophyte by having the certain accidental conditions are there. So due to the trampling by the suppose animals are there, or other parts natural calamities are there, but still they are showing the development. Here you are observing the good example of the this Buxbaumia genera. It shows the very interesting capsule is there. Then Nium is there, Nium, archegonial head. So many archegonia, they are developing at the apex of this one, and therefore mosses patches we are observing, they germinate in the next season, and they are to be redeveloped. Here you are observing in the this moss, the anthridium is there. Just you see how they are developing. So as these are the smaller plants are there, but maximum advanced characters are there. You see the group of anthridia developing here. So the physiological conditions totally depend on the certain location, soil, rocks, or there is having the humidity is there, and generally any ecological conditions. Already you are knowing the Siri, Xerosyri, Hydrosyri, Mesosyri. Xerosyri, that is developing on the rock. So firstly these plants are developing algae, then there are the certain mosses are there, or certain later on the grasses, then small shrubs are there, trees are there, like this one. So this development, so this is a good photograph showing the habitat is there, and the patches while we are observing in the rainy season, or generally, so immediately they develop the structure, and it is nothing but it is a part of the succession. So how pioneer stage, first stage, they are commonly therefore called as the algae, or the mosses are called as the pioneers developing in the field. This is a good photograph of the moss. Neum is there. So this neum, as it shows the these blackish capsules are there. so they develop. Then this second photograph you are observing a red yellow color polytrichum capsules are there, right? Then Markensia gymmacopy is there. So all these conditions, there are the certain physiological changes, so we will see the one by one, but just you should know how the bryophytes are classified and what are the main their characters. So next lecture we will also take the same topic. Okay, thanks to all.